So, when looking at what specific economic, political, and cultural reasons that a government might cite to block a global entity like a global media company like Netflix from entering their country, um, economically, it might beat out just competitors. Netflix is a behemoth of a company, and they do something really well. And Amazon and Apple and Meta do the same things, where they will enter a market and they will take up the lion's share, and then they will just decimate the competition to the point where it's like I can't call it a monopoly, but it just feels like a monopoly. So they will eliminate market competition. Politically, if this is this hypothetical country that Netflix might want to expand into is a restrictive government that doesn't let certain topics be publicized, then that might be in the interest of the government for stability. Like early on, Netflix was known and is still known, like one of its hallmarks, and now Hulu is for having documentaries that are scandalous and that are essentially exposés. And if I'm a government, I don't need public criticism. Now, in America, that's something different. Political speech is essential, and it's deemed essential in a democracy by the Supreme Court for 250 years. But in other countries, it's not like that. Um, and cultural reasons, it just Netflix might just not fit. Like it just might not fit in a different country. Like maybe they just don't have translators for that specific country, maybe for that specific region of the world if it's not like a well-known language, or just something like Netflix can't find people to translate into that language, or it can just not be appealing. Um, yeah, that could just be it. Things sometimes just aren't appealing. And countries can do a lot to promote and restrict international trade. The biggest one that I know that all of us have seen in the headlines are tariffs and just like international tax. So lowering a tariff would definitely help international trade and ease relations. But making a tariff higher, that like the cost trickles down to the consumer because the business wants to pass off that cost. Um, I mean, also customs, which is like another tax, another tariff. So countries that they have a lot of leeway in whatever they can do to promote trade, whether it's um, like a collaboration between two nations, or if a nation is interdependent, like Mexico and the U.S. We have a free trade agreement between Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. So our trade is pretty regular with enough regulations that it's not hampering and harming our economy so severely that it's an issue. But other countries can't do that. There's a lot of leeway and movement for countries to expand or restrict international trade.